Let's go. There we go. Good afternoon, Fit Life Tribe. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are having an amazing week so far. Today, I wanted to bring you something a little bit different and give you a resource that will really help you get some shop and purchase groceries for just giving you guys some amazing tips on how to do this on a budget. So some budget friendly tips and tricks. So one thing that we hear a lot of times is, eating out is so expensive. Or not eating out. Oh goodness, eating healthy is expensive. And so that's what I'm going to show you today is how we can actually shop and be smart about it and prepare our foods, buy in bulk or buy what you're going to use, having a plan to actually save money in the long run versus, going out to eat, which if you have a family, that adds up even quicker than eating healthy. So I put together an awesome resource for you guys that I think is really going to benefit you and help you really see that eating healthy can be done on a budget, and it can be very, very efficient as far as planning ahead and staying on track with your health and fitness goals and reaching your nutritional goals. So that's what we're going to chat about today. I'm going to give you all a moment. If, make sure you say hello. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know if there is anything specific grocery-wise shopping that you have questions on, and I will address them. One thing I just was thinking about that I should have put in this guide that I didn't is food, should we buy organic or should we not buy organic? And there's a few foods out there that make sense to buy organic and some that do not. I do have a list of those that I have found to be very helpful and a great resource as well. So I will go dig that out and I will share that with you guys as well. So hopefully my internet is working because my Facebook is just being slow as can be. I think I had some other friends that were live on Facebook as well, having just like a weird lag and just being extremely slow. So I don't know if anybody is joining me. Like I said, this is just being so stinking slow. Anyways, we're going to get started. So this will be on the feed. It's recorded as well. So you can always go back and let me know if you're watching this, replaying this as well. Because we put together these resources, we put together these items to, help you in the long run be able to reach your health and fitness goals, but also just to provide you with some information because there is an amount of information out there on the internet. A lot of it is good if you know how to digest it. But there's a lot of things out there as well. There's so many myths out there. And that is one thing, that a lot of people will fall into these quick fix, these gimmicks. And they just, in the long run, they aren't teaching you proper habits to maintain the weight that you do lose on such quick fix or fat diet. So with that, our principle inside the Fit Life Tribe is flexible dieting. And with that, the majority of your foods, 80% of your foods you want coming from whole food sources, right? So that's kind of what I'll be showing you today. And then 20% is where we have a little bit more wiggle room, that freedom to enjoy those foods that you love, which generally seems to be more of the processed side of foods, which I am going to kind of talk about that as well with this little grocery guide that I have put together for you guys today. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm frozen on my other screen, but let me pull up this guide that I put together for you all, and then I will share my screen and go over this little resource that is called How to Shop for Healthy Groceries on a Budget. So share my screen. We are right here. And share. All right. So welcome to today's Trainer Tip Tuesday with Coach Trista. And so as I mentioned, you guys, this is the little resource that I put together for you on how to shop for healthy groceries and stay within a budget. So first of all, eating on a budget does not mean that you have to sacrifice nutrition by any means. Putting a little thought into it, planning ahead, you can very easily still enjoy nutritious foods without spending an amount, way too much money on groceries. So of course, we have to have a plan, and we're going to dive into that. But first of all, number one rule out there, you guys, is never go to the grocery store while you are hungry. And I thought I was gonna write hangry on here because I think that's funny. Maybe did I write it somewhere? No. So I was thinking about this, and a lot of times when you go to the grocery store and you're hungry, you are going to buy things or be tempted to purchase things in the moment because you are hungry. It's that impulse. So make sure that you have either eaten beforehand, or if you're out running errands, make sure you have a snack with you so that you don't go into the store hungry. One thing that I do is I pretty much always leave the house and have a protein shake and some sort of a carb source to go with it. If you guys have heard my lives before, I am a huge sucker for this. Like the perfect combo for me is a protein shake and animal crackers. So I buy animal crackers in bulk from Costco. I'll throw a few in a little Ziploc, and that is like my ultimate on the go snack. So it's a carb and it's a protein source. So it's going to keep me fuller a little bit longer. So just make sure that you grab some sort of a protein packed snack when you're out running around to really, so that you're not hangry while walking the aisles of the grocery store. So just make sure that you have something in your stomach so that you are not tempted just to buy everything because it looks good, or, like you're tempted because you are hungry at that time frame or during that time. Okay. So I mentioned this, having a plan. So this is one thing that we always talk about within the Fit Life Tribe with our clients on how to, first of all, hit your macros, right? That's going to be another training for down the road. I know we've talked about it several times on here. However, we're just talking about grocery shopping in general. So having a plan, making sure that you plan out what you're going to be eating for each meal throughout the week. So maybe it's having a calendar, writing out what your dinners are. And then, having a good plan for your breakfast, lunch, and snacks throughout the day. So, I like to talk about this, having staple foods. I have a whole slide on that as well that I'll dive into. But when you have a healthy plan, or when you have a plan, and know what your meals are going to be, it's so much easier for you to stay on track. And when you have these meals ready, so doing a little food prep as well will help you stay on track, will help you from, going out to dinner, going out to lunch, especially, if you work in an office and everybody's like, hey, let's go to lunch today. Maybe one thing that we used to do when I worked in an office and had my, full-time job was we had a specific day of the week where we planned going out to lunch, right? So maybe you have like Monday through Thursday, you guys plan your own meals, and then a Friday is like a little bit of fun. You get to go out and have lunch with your coworkers, right? But having that plan ahead of time is going to be huge. Make a list and note what you already have in your fridge or your freezer or your pantry, so you don't buy things, buy double on things you already have, right? So you want to make sure that you're using up the foods that you have in your pantry, in your freezer, and in your fridge, so you're not buying double. And then ultimately something's going to end up going to waste, especially if it's in your fridge or your pantry where it doesn't have as long of shelf life. Okay. Those non-perishable items are only good for a couple, 3 3 days up to a week, depending on what it is, right? So just making sure you have that plan, knowing what your dinners are, breakfast, lunches, and snacks is going to save you a lot of time and money. So just putting a little bit of effort in on the front end always saves so much time down the road. Okay. Know your go-to foods. This one is huge. And this is something I always mention inside the Fit Life Tribe. Always talk about these to my clients. I know exactly what my go-to foods are. So you'll get to the point where you have certain go-to meals, certain go-to foods that also help you hit those nutritional goals. So having a list and knowing what those foods are that are going to help you plan your meals for the week. Okay. So for me, for example, some of my go-to always on my grocery list are a couple fresh fruits and vegetables, usually a bag of salad, eggs and egg whites, Greek yogurt, and 2 to 3 protein sources. And I like to keep protein sources frozen as well, because they last 6 months up to a year. So I always make sure I have frozen ground turkey, frozen chicken breast, and frozen lean ground beef. Sometimes we have bacon on hand. Sometimes we have some fish as well. It just depends on what we're planning to cook for our meals that week. So know what your go-to foods are. And these are things that I buy almost weekly. And then from there, by having my meals planned out, I know how my go-to foods are going to fit into my meal plan for the week. And I honestly can keep my foods fairly the same. It doesn't bother me, but I'm going to also give you some tricks also on how to spice up your foods, right? So number 3, knowing your go-to foods is going to be huge. Number 4, using recipes that with common ingredients. So cooking different meals that, so just because you're using the same ingredients doesn't mean that your food has to be bland. It has to taste the same. We can change things up with seasoning, herbs, and, the way we use specific dishes, right? So I love this example right here. So if you love having chicken, cook a whole chicken and use it for several different dishes. So this is something I do on a regular basis. And so the example I have here is you cook chicken, you can have a stir fry for one night and a chicken fajita for another. So if you just there's a couple ways you can do this. Just cook your chicken plain and then season it for each meal that you're making, right? So if you're going to have stir fry one night and chicken fajitas the night that you're doing the fajitas, make sure you season it accordingly. I love this too. If you're buying vegetables and you're going to have them as a side dish, or maybe you have it in that stir fry, the next day you use it in your egg white scramble or your frittata. So just buying and thinking ahead is really going to help you use these items in multiple meals. So another common thing that I do is I will cook ground turkey and I will make like a rice bowl, and then I'll make so I'll just change up my rice bowls. Like one time it's more Oriental, the next time it's more Mexican, right? So just changing up the seasonings, changing up the sauces that you put on it too can be huge. And a really good calorie friendly like sauces would be the Bolt House yogurt, Bolt House Farms, I think it is. Ooh, goodness, now I'm not sure, but they have these yogurt dressings. They are amazing. They have a ton of different flavors, and you can have some of those, like have a couple of those, and you can definitely spice up your meals and just change the flavor of each of your meals, or change the theme, right? From fajitas to stir fry to a more maybe some Thai type seasonings. That's a great way. So just make sure that you're using ingredients that you love, and so that you don't mind using them over and over, right? One thing I love is zucchini, and I'll make zucchini in the morning. I'll cut up all my zucchini when I purchase it, and then I will use it in my eggs, and then I'll use it in like a rice bowl too. So one thing that makes this easier, using common ingredients to create your meals is to bulk prep a little bit. So bulk prep some chicken, bulk prep some ground turkey or ground beef, and then have some rice or some sweet potatoes. And then you can add different seasonings to spice it up a little bit. I can make 7 different meals with one meal prep. Keep it simple but creative. Exactly. So that's kind of what I was just mentioning with that bulk meal prep. So having cooking all of your chicken and cooking all of your ground turkey, cooking all of your rice, and then changing it up with some sauces and some seasonings. So that's going to be huge. But ultimately, it still comes down to number 2, which I talked about, having a plan. So planning this out is going to save you guys so much time. And I'm going to talk about this in a moment too. But there's certain items that I buy from Costco and I bulk buy them. And one of those is I buy this 20 pounds, a 20-pound bag of rice, and it lasts me for like 6 months or longer. So that's something, and it's like $15-20. And I'll make 3 to 4 cups a week or every other week, because I don't have rice every week. But when I do it, I bulk prep it, and then I have it for multiple meals, and it's saving me money in the long run. All right, number 5, find ways to stretch a recipe. So what I mean by that is make items that freeze really well. And this is, I don't do this a ton, but I have done it in the past, and it can be a lifesaver. So soups, chilies, crock pot meals are amazing. One thing I have done and do on a regular basis is protein pancakes or waffles, and I'll make them with a protein powder and Kodiak cakes, and then I will throw them in the freezer. So whenever I make protein pancakes, this is usually a weekend thing where Evie's like, I want pancakes. I'm like, done. Let me make some pancakes. I triple the recipe, and then I have, several servings of protein pancakes, and I throw those bad boys in the freezer, pull one out, throw it in the toaster, and it'll thaw. And you have to go a little bit longer, multiple times, just as so throw it in there for, a couple of minutes, let it come back up. And then again, just making sure you're thawing it out, and then it's heating it up at the same time. Egg white bites is another great option too. You can make egg white bites in muffin containers or a muffin tin. There you go. And you can make egg white bites, and those are so easy to freeze, so easy to put in the fridge, and they'll last, up to a week. And it's already prepped. So those are just some easy things that I could think of off the top of my head that you could throw in the freezer. And then it's just grab and go, right? Plus, this really helps for when you're in a pinch for time and you'd rather stay on track than go purchase, fast food for the family. Because as I mentioned, fast food can definitely add up. So these are some great ideas on how to just save some money in the long run by planning ahead and planning your groceries according to the meals that you're going to make each day. All right. So most important, having a grocery list. So we've already planned out our week. We already know what our meals are going to be. Now we're going to make a grocery list. So this is where those staple meals or those staple foods come into place. But this is also great to save some money. If you stick to the grocery list, have it all planned out, you're going to save yourself some money. I put pro tip on here to save time or keep you from buying unnecessary items. Shop online. This saves me so much time. I do a Costco order probably every other week, roughly. And I do this because it saves yes, it is a little more pricey to buy these items online and have them delivered to you. However, I have realized that it saves me time from going to the store. And then when I go to the store, I end up buying things that I do not need. So if I just get online, I have, it pulls up like your favorites, things that you've purchased in the past. I'm like, click, click, click. Those are my staple foods. And then what am I going to have for meals this week? and buy my groceries accordingly. So I'll buy the things in bulk from Costco, and then the things that I do not need to buy as much of, buy from the grocery store. So that is how I save money and how I plan ahead. But ultimately, it always comes back to having that plan, knowing what your meals are going to be, and then breaking it into a grocery list. And the more you do this, the easier it gets. And like I said, you'll determine what those staple foods are for you. So it just gets that much easier each time that you do this. All right, buying whole foods. So obviously, fruits and vegetables are going to be a little bit cheaper, especially when you're buying foods in season. So buying foods in season, and I talk about that on another slide too as well, but you can save money by doing your own prep work. So this is huge. If you're going to buy fruits and vegetables, which I suggest, buying a couple per week, but also being mindful that you're not buying too much, because this is where, things could add up and you're buying too much and then things go bad. However, one thing that I do is when I do buy my fruits and vegetables, my whole fruits and vegetables, is I take the time to cut them up and prepare them right then and there. Because I know that if I just buy a vegetable and I throw it in my fridge, or buy a fruit and throw it in there, if I don't cut it up, most of the time it's going to go to waste. So make sure you're chopping them up, preparing them right when you get them, and putting them in little like Tupperwares or baggies to keep them fresh. I know there's some products out there that will help prolong those whole fruit, prolong the life of them in your fridge. But if you are, planning accordingly, then generally these won't go bad before you get the opportunity to eat them. Also, this is another way you can actually throw them into the freezer and save them for down the road if you don't get them eaten. So having them cut, a couple little things that I love to do is bananas. Those always go in the freezer. And same thing with avocado. So that my avocados don't go bad, I love cutting them up, throwing them in the freezer, and then I can add them to my shakes. I can thaw them out. I can add them to other items so that I get to use them before they go bad. So buying those whole foods instead of buying them pre-cut or packaged is going to save a little dollars. Buying in bulk. So most of your grocery stores have sections where you can buy items in bulk. And I love this because you may want to buy some things in bulk, but may not need to get a large amount of, some of these items. So fruits, nuts, grains, those are usually the things wheat flour, oat flour, like you can buy those kind of things in bulk. Also, like dried fruits usually you can get in bulk as well. These kind of things, you can buy them cheaper this way versus buying them in a bag. But also, as I mentioned, you can get exactly what you need, how much you need, rather than buying a bag where it's too much or too little. So that's one area where buying in bulk can be great when it comes to like these bulk areas. Granola is another great option over here. Okay. Buying in season. So I even found this awesome little guide for you guys so you can see what's in season. So generally, you want to buy your fruits and vegetables in season. What's great is you can look in both your grocery store and at the local farmer's market. Here's a cool little tip. If you go to the farmer's market towards the end of the day, sometimes their prices are a little bit lower. And then of course, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't happen to use all your fruits and vegetables, make sure you have them cut and prepped, throw them in the freezer. That way you can add them to foods down the road and without wasting your food. So this is going to be an amazing, great resource for you guys to see what's in season during what times. All right, number 10, buying frozen or canned foods. Now, this is a huge myth. A lot of people used to think, well, there's not as many nutrients in frozen fruits and vegetables or canned. And they actually sometimes are fresher than what you're going to get in the grocery store, based on whether or not these items are in season or not. So frozen fruits and vegetables, they're picked at their peak season and then they're flash frozen. Like I said, it's frozen within 24 hours. So these are actually an amazing source of for you. So I personally always have frozen fruit and vegetables just in case that I don't have anything fresh in my fridge. And I can always throw some frozen green beans into a meal, throw, I have bags of stir fry veggies, those kind of things. I can throw meals together so quickly by having these items in the freezer at all times. Canned choices can also be healthy as well. Choosing items that are lower in sodium and have no added sugar. So they are some great options as well. Here are some ideas for using those frozen vegetables, saute them, roast them, add them into sauces, stews, or stir fries and chilies. Those are great options. Fruits, hands down, are my favorite to add into smoothies. So I make protein smoothies almost daily. I always have frozen fruit. It gives your, it helps make your smoothies more, gives them more of that ice cream smoothie consistency. Same thing with the avocado. So that frozen avocado, you can throw them in your yogurts, oatmeal, frozen fruit, like such an easy way to go. And it's not going to spoil in your fridge. So I like to have both. And then of course, canned beans, those are great for throwing on top of salads, soups, chilies, and so on. So definitely having canned food in your pantry is going to be very important. Same thing with just having some freezer options available for you. So stocking up your pantry. So buying those non-perishable items. The great thing about this is you can have your pantry stocked and you only have to do this, a couple times a year, right? Because your pastas, your beans, your cereals, your nuts, your flours, those things are going to last a good amount of time. So they are things that you're not using every single day. So they are going to, hold a shelf life a lot longer. And they're just some great staples to have in your pantry. So make sure you have a pantry, stock it up, see what else is in there. Oh, peanut butter. That's a great one. So peanut butter, canned tuna, those things are things we always have in our pantry as in here, fridge or pantry. Okay, some other tips. So I'm a sucker for a discount or, buy 3, get 1 free, but be realistic, be honest with yourself. Is it worth buying? Let's say it's a vegetable, right? Let's say, I don't know, it's like buy 3 stalks of celery, get 1 for free, which is great if you have a big family, but is buying that, do you need to buy all of that, or would it be cheaper for you just to buy the amount that you're going to use right then and there? So just be cautious when it comes to those marketing tactics, right? Switch to no name brands. So this one, most of the time, if you're looking at items on the shelf, a lot of the products are going to be, or the ingredients are going to be pretty much the same. So in the long run, you can definitely buy no name brands and be getting pretty much the same product for a lot less money. So that's a huge tip. Now this one, saving leftovers and / cooking extra each meal. So I mentioned this when I talked about making those pancakes for like on the weekend. I always make sure I double the batch, triple the batch so that I have leftovers that I can freeze. So same thing goes with your regular recipes. You can use these for the next day's lunch. You can use them, freeze them. Like I said on here, you can have those for those busy nights where you're like, shoot, I don't have anything prepared. What can I have for dinner tonight? And you have these leftover meals. Coupons are a great option to save you some money. Look for those deals. Usually they'll have discounts or specials on the fruits and vegetables that are in season during that time frame. So check those out. Same thing, price matching, knowing, go like me specifically, there's three places that I generally shop, and I will pay attention to which stores have certain items on sale and purchase from that store. That way I am making sure to save money where I can. Price matching, a lot of people will, like if you go to Walmart, or let's say you go to Target and you saw something cheaper at Walmart, most stores will price match, but you have to provide them with the what is it called? Like Walmart has it at this price, and sometimes they will. I would say most times they do. Generally what I do though, is I just make sure and go to the place where it's cheaper. So that's just some other ideas on how to save a little bit of money. And last but not least, here are some of my favorite budget-friendly grocery stores. Trader Joe's and Sprouts, those are two, like hands down, absolutely love them. They have great options. Well, Sprouts does for like your bulk shopping. Same with Costco and Sam's. Like if you're buying certain items in bulk, those are going to be where you save your money. Walmart, Fresh Market, Aldi's, Winco, Food for Less, and Amazon Fresh. So just some ideas out there. I know obviously we all live in different areas, so choose what you have local to you, and make sure you're checking the deals, the coupons, and planning ahead. So ultimately, it's always going to come back to making sure that you are planning ahead in order to save yourself some money and buy just what you need for that week. So I really hope that this resource was helpful. I thought that it would be such a great thing to share with everyone and give you just a few ideas, some different tips and tricks on how to save some money and buy healthy groceries at the same time. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this, a lot of people ask, do I have to buy organic versus, non-organic? And definitely that is not the case. Organic is not going to be as friendly to your budget. However, I am going to go find that resource for you all and share it in here that has some of the items that are more beneficial to purchase organic if you have the funds to do so. So I will be sharing that with you guys here soon, but ultimately just trying to buy farm fresh is going to be not cost as much as organic, but still be a better option for you. So keep those things in mind. Buying fresh or in season items as well is definitely the way to go. So make sure you go back over here to page 9 and check out that list right here. So let's see, right now we're in June, July, and August. Look at all these amazing, this is such a wonderful time to buy fresh fruits and vegetables. So check that out. And thank you guys for joining me today. If you have any questions, please reach out, DM me. Just a quick admin note. We have one seat left for our retreat coming up this week, this Friday through Monday in St. George, Utah. So one seat available. I have a special discount price for that one person. So reach out to me if you guys are interested. If you were on the fence about going, this is definitely going to be an opportunity for you to take advantage of. So like I said, reach out. Tomorrow, Coach Marissa will be here in Salt Lake City with me. So Coach Ken and myself will all three be going live, and we're going to be talking about money. So, this was kind of a little bit on the money side, just being smart financially when you're, being more savvy, I guess, when you're purchasing your groceries, but also it doesn't necessarily come down to being money savvy. It just comes down to having a plan ultimately, and that's going to save you money in the long run. So same thing with your budget. So we'll be diving into that tomorrow evening. Can't wait to see you guys there. As always, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow.